All right, there. I finally cleared the screen. I can see now. Find music, episode 73. That's right. It's time for Jim Babwe's virtual playlist. This is number 14. Tell us about it, Jim.
Okay. First off, this is my political list. It's just the beginning, like all lists, and if you want to add to the list, just go to my website at the address toward the bottom of the playlist right there. And you can send me an email with whatever addition you want to make to the list. And I guess I should start by saying I've always been a registered independent, not Republican, not Democrat. This is supposed to be free speech kind of thing for me. I think that it's important to examine political lyrics. I've always been interested in political speeches, and in a sense, every political lyric is a political speech. And I started it off with the Bruce Springsteen song, Born in the USA. And it's always kind of comical to me when people try to use that song to promote their own political agenda. And I think that the people who do that should actually sit down and read the lyrics before they, use the chorus, Born in the USA, as a source of pride, because it's not exactly that kind of song. The next song on the list is by Bruce Cockburn, and I've heard that he kind of regrets the lyrics to that song, but If I Had a Rocket Launcher is about flat out revenge. And I think with the political climate the way it is, it's really important to examine the motives of the people who say they want equality, because some of the people who say they want equality really are in search of revenge. I'll leave that one alone for now. John Prine, one of my very favorite lyricists, started out as a mailman and started playing at open mic nights, and then turned into probably one of the greatest lyricists next to Bob Dylan that I can cite in American history. Buffalo Springfield, everybody knows for what it's worth. Great protest song from the 60s. And I think that Stephen Stills is an underappreciated guitar player. Jefferson Airplane, of course, San Francisco-based band from the 60s. More modern, Neon Bible by Arcade Fire, Antichrist, Television Blues, I think is a really compelling song, and the group has great orchestration, great arrangements. Frank Zappa, Trouble Every Day, there's pretty much two versions. Well, there's more than two versions of every Zappa song. There's the one that he had on one of his first albums. I can't remember the title of it right off the top of my head, but the one that I really like is the one off of Roxy and Elsewhere because of its length. Watching and waiting, hoping for the best. There's no way to delay that trouble coming every day. And then we have an Elvis Costello cover of a, oh gosh, name escapes my mind right now. It's, I wrote it down. She's famous songwriter. I love the sound of breaking glass. You guys can help me with this. Shoot.
We're talking about Elvis Costello here?
Yeah, Elvis Costello. He covered this song, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. I love the song.
It's a cover. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a cover. And it's somebody that you know. Shoot, this is embarrassing, but I'm only the only one here, so not embarrassed.
You want me to look it up, man?
Yeah, look it up real quick, because I should know this. It's Nick Lowe. Sorry, it's Nick Lowe.
Oh,
Nick
that was in the corner of my brain.
Right. Same here. And I was just looking at a picture of him right before I came online here today. So a great song with a really easy answer. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, nothing. There's nothing funny about that. Let's Have a War by Fear, one of my favorite punk bands. Let's Have a War so you can go die. There you go. And then the next one by Gil Scott-Heron. This is, speaking of KPPC in Pasadena, the first time I heard this was on the radio. This song would never be played on regular broadcast radio anymore. The revolution will not be televised. I mean, it's a tremendous piece of poetry. 1971, Gil Scott-Heron. Eve of Destruction, Barry McGuire, also a cover, originally written by a guy named P.F. Sloan. I have that album on vinyl. He also wrote a song called Halloween Mary that's great. And I pulled up the lyrics on my other computer here. And if you read the lyrics to Eve of Destruction, you wonder what the heck has really changed since 1965. The Eastern world is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. That's one thing that's changed, because in those days, you could be drafted into military service without the right to vote. Voting in those days was age 21, and you could be drafted at 18. And I don't think you had to register to vote during war time, but I think maybe Fred did, and I know I did. They were still drafting 19-year-olds when I turned 18, and then the next year, 1975, is when we skedaddled out of Vietnam in a very famous episode that we have videos of, where helicopters are picking people up at the top of the U.S. Embassy. So that's even destruction. And by the way, when I think of that, no doomsayer in the world has ever been correct about the destruction of the whole world. So we hope that continues. Finally, we have an artist that has teamed up with John Prine, Iris DeMent, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Iris DeMent. She's not real widely known, but man, her lyrics are just great. And she's got a very distinctive high-pitched voice. And I would classify her as maybe a folk singer, although classifying music is often really difficult, you know. But Wasteland of the Free is a tremendous protest song. So whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, I think protest songs play a really big role in molding the minds of America's youth, for example, like I used to be. So that's it for me today. And at the bottom of virtual playlist number 14, you will see what I think is one of the most important documents, one of the most important parts of a document in the history of the world. And that's the First Amendment. So that's my contribution for today. Thank you.
Pausing to allow Fred to respond.
Oh, I know that song by Iris DeMent. She's an excellent singer. You're right.
It's a tremendous,
Even Destruction. Yeah, when that first came out and heard that on the radio, it's like, wow.
Same here.
P.F. Sloan supposedly didn't get his royalties from that song. His
That's what I
publisher
understand.
was really angry about him writing that song.
Yeah. I think, didn't Ball of Confusion, was that the Temptations? Didn't it come out about the same time? I should have put that on the list now that I'm thinking about it.
That's a good song.
Ball of Confusion. Yep.
Didn't hear it when it first came out, of course. Well, so I thought Fred would say more, but I guess not.
Oh. No, I'm fine with.
Any protest
Great
songs
list.
come to mind? 60s Man?
No, he's got a lot of great songs, protest songs.
No
Down
Dylan?
There.
You know, I left him out on purpose because pretty much everybody knows him.
Knows those, okay.
You know.
No Clash?
Oh God, I love that band. I was listening to Joe Strummer's album yesterday.
Okay.
He's got a great song called Johnny Appleseed, if you ever heard it. You know, it's a great song.
Well, then we'll leave it up to you, audience. If you're out there, you can add to virtual playlist number 014
Feel free
by going to recursive multimedia / virtual playlist, virtual playlist.com. And yeah, I gotta try.
Everybody's welcome.
Okay, gang, that's 73 in the can.